Where are you from?
I come from Beijing. I guess it makes me a local here.
Can you tell me something about your hometown?
Sure. My hometown, Beijing, is a metropolis, which is situated in the northeast of China. With the history of over 3,000 years, Beijing is now the political, cultural, and economic center of China. I was born here and grew up here. Like all the other Beijingers, I have a special emotion to my hometown.
Okay, just a few things. It's metropolis, not metropolis. And it's with a history of over 3,000 years, not the. And people don't have emotions to things, they have connections to things. So I have a special connection to my hometown.
What do you think is the thing that attracts people to go to your hometown?
With a history of over 3,000 years, Beijing has so many things that attract people to come to visit. For starters, lots of well-known tourism attractions like the Forbidden City, the Temple of Heaven, the Great Wall, the Bird's Nest, and the Summer Palace. Besides, there are millions of invaluable antiques, crafts, jewelry, and calligraphy, which are extremely impressive. I think Beijing is a dynamic city where the old and new intermingle, remains a magnet for visitors from inside and outside China.
Okay, she's still just listing, but I guess that's not going to change. Let's look at vocabulary. She says tourism attractions. It's not tourism attractions, it's tourist attractions. And then we have this phrase, for starters, lots of well-known tourism attractions like the Forbidden City, the Temple of Heaven, the Great Wall, the Bird's Nest, and the Summer Palace. Do what? What do they do? There's no verb after any of these. And then just a small little issue. I think Beijing is a dynamic city where the old and new intermingle, remains a magnet for visitors from inside and outside China. This verb has no object, so it remains a magnet for visitors. Not a big deal, but there it is.
What is the landmark in your hometown?
The very first landmark springs to mind is the Great Wall and the Forbidden City. Another one is the Bird's Nest and the Water Cube, two of the greatest buildings in Olympics history.
The question is kind of weird. Why should one hometown just have one landmark? So why the landmark? And then in the first sentence, the very first landmark, which springs to mind, but then she mentions two. So why is it the very first? And then for Olympics history, the adjective is Olympic, so it should be two of the greatest buildings in Olympic history. Now, I don't really know much about the Forbidden City, and I don't really know what the Water Cube is. And maybe the examiner doesn't know either. So why not tell them a little bit more? Give some detail.
What are people in your hometown like?
They are very friendly and hospitable. They always love to give a hand to those visitors who need help and make them feel at home.
Really?
Are there any changes happened in your hometown these years?
Yes, I would say earth-shaking changes happened in my hometown these years. Off the top of my head, the city planning has been getting better and better. Skyscrapers and boulevards are everywhere. Trees, flowers, and green grass are all giving a fancy flavor to the whole city. And more landmarks are built in the city. The Bird's Nest and the Water Cube are photographed to death by photographers from all over the world. On the top of it, people's living standards have improved a lot as well.
This is again one of those questions that have mistakes in them. Are there any changes happened in your hometown these years? Should be, are there any changes that have happened in your hometown recently? And then she repeats the same mistake in the first sentence. And then it's not really a mistake, but I mean, how fancy are trees and grass? Are they really fancy? And then the last phrase, on the top of people's living standards have improved a lot as well. What she wants to say is, on top of this, people's living standards have improved a lot as well.
Is there anything that needs to be improved in your hometown?
The first thing comes to mind is the air should be fresher. You know, motor vehicles caused severe exhaust pollution, which made the air badly polluted. Another thing is traffic problems, especially in rush hour. Get stuck in horrible traffic jams every morning and evening is really unpleasant, which never fails to ruin people's moods.
And then just when she talks about the air pollution, it should be the first thing that comes to mind is that the air should be fresher. And then this phrase, here we see is really unpleasant. So you're describing a noun, something is unpleasant. So that means this get should be a noun. So getting stuck in horrible traffic jams every morning and evening is really unpleasant. Then we have an adjective that describes the noun. And then when she talks about the air pollution, she says, you know, motor vehicles caused severe exhaust pollution, but surely this is something that still happens, so it should be in the present tense, cause. And then she goes on to explain what air pollution is. You don't need to explain that air pollution makes the air badly polluted. It's implied in the word.
If you were the mayor of your hometown, what is the first thing that you would do?
Whoa, it would be my great honor. Well, I guess the very first thing I would do is to pinch myself to see whether I am in a dream or not. If it was checked out, the first thing I would do officially is to allocate a large amount of funds to establish more charities and organizations for the disabled to let them enjoy the medical care and the daily care. I think they are human beings as well, so they have every right to enjoy everything that normal people can enjoy. You know, they are already unfortunate physically, so we should do whatever it takes to make them the most fortunate psychologically and spiritually.
Okay, in this first part she says, if it was checked out. I think what she wants to say is if it checked out. If something checks out, it means it's true. If something is checked out, it means you try to find out more information about it. So we can just say, if it checked out, the first thing I would do is blah, 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 blah. This phrase here, a large amount of funds, I can't really say that it's wrong because amount is used for uncountable nouns. But I can't say that I've ever really heard people say a large amount of funds. So I would allocate funds, maybe not a large amount. And then when she talks about the disabled, I think they're human beings as well. Well, yeah, of course they're human beings as well. But then she goes on to say, so they have every right to enjoy everything that normal people can enjoy. Now, I know her intentions are probably good, but if you say normal people, then you're saying that people with disabilities are not normal. So how about we say able-bodied people and disabled?